Welcome back on ASMG TV. We get a chance to present the fans' favorite goal of the year. The fans of the UPSL Georgia Premier Division vote on this award, and Kalonji is the winner this season. Kalan, congratulations. And what do you remember about this goal?
It was a good goal. A good pass from Mohammed. Kind of flicked the ball to me. I knew that's what he's good at doing. He's good at playing really good passes. And I read the pass. It was in the air a little bit. I saw the keeper coming out. I just volleyed it. Won it.
Big time congrats on the
Appreciate
award. Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all the fans who voted for this award, and we'll be back with more of today's semifinal coming up right after this on ASMG TV.
Welcome back to ASMG TV here on YouTube. I'm Madison Cruz. Joined with me is the head coach for Kalonji Pro-Profile in Bruno Kalonji after a 5-2 victory over FC Birmingham in the semifinals. Back again to another final. How does it feel?
Absolutely. It feels great. This is where we belong. Obviously, as I told you guys last time, with the key players that we have, everybody's looking in shape now, and everybody's here, so it should be a fun ride.
Everything coming together. You have a lot of moving pieces coming in and out. We talked a little bit about it in the earlier matchups. Having Karim, Tmimi, Toni, Tiente, all of them coming back into the fold. They played together for so long. What has it been like for you watching all of them get back used to each other and now seeing the finishing product on the field?
Well, you know what? It's enjoyable when you have players that know how to play the game. So you just watch and you let them ride with it. So it'll be a fun one. So they're picking it up more and more. The younger guys are coming back as well. So it'll be a fun one.
Having the balance between having a lot of older veteran players who have been in higher levels, MLS Next Pro, USL, having all of those different levels, and then having a lot of the younger players coming in. How does that help you especially build such a bigger and better team?
Yeah, well, it's good because the younger guys are pushing it as well. So they're top guys in the MLS Next, and they're coming in to basically support and also learn from the older guys. And the older guys understand their place, and so you'll see that we start the game very strong. Once they put a few goals away, the younger guys come in to finish the game as well. You saw Owanja, Eli coming in the second half, firing there on the side, scoring each one goal. So we have a lot of powerhouse here. So.
Awesome, Bruno. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. We'll see you here next week on Sunday for the final. We will be right back here on ASMG as Jason Longshore is going to chat with a couple of players and a lot of key highlights from the match. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to ASMG TV here on YouTube. I'm Jason Longshore here with my old friend Toni Tiente. Called many of your games with Atlanta United too. Good to catch up with you again.
How you doing, friend?
Doing well, doing well. Tell me about what it's been like for you with this team. Bruno just talked about it with all of the young guys that are pushing some of you veterans a little bit for playing time. What's it like being in that kind of player coach kind of capacity for you?
I mean, it's been great. So I've been with the club for about 4 years, and I know what it's about, what the coach is about. It's a program that's been here for a long time, established in the UPSL for a long time, and it's always been a mix of young players and kind of older players. So each player understands his place in this team. So we know the older guys, we're here to guide, the young guys, during our time here until we go back to play pro eventually. So, and the younger understand as well that they're here to learn. They stay calm. They get information from us, and and you can see on the field as well, all of them perform. Kalan's been doing great. One just there and there's been doing great as well. Daniel Tomasi doing great. Jero Demis is doing great. So be proud of that as well. And for me as a coach as well, in the club I'm coaching them as well. So I'm very, very happy to see them good in MLS Next and doing great here as well. So
often in this midfield, you and Josef playing together, it feels like you guys are basically sharing a brain at this point on the field. How important is it to have a partner like that you feel like like the back of your hand?
I mean, it's pretty easy to play that with somebody that understands football, understands soccer. So he's been in the game for a long time. He play at the highest level. So we understand each other. Sometimes we don't need to talk that much, but we know what to do. And then it's better. Our role is a little bit, getting a little bit bigger because we have the young guys as well that we have to cover and comprehend there slowly and surely. But, it's just football, so we just play and we enjoy it. So.
Birmingham made you guys sweat at times today. Not a typical number 7 seed coming in here and keeping it 3-2 for a long while. What eventually broke the game for you guys?
I mean, it's just, keep our identity, keep playing football, keep, moving the ball, being patient, and then just scoring goals, getting our chances and finish them. But, it's soccer, anything can happen, It's not because it's 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 that the game is done. So we understood that we have keep going and score more goals and make sure we stay straight in defense. So
the last one for me, I'd just love to get your mentality on these things. We talked about it the second half. You guys had a comfortable lead. It's easy at times to take your foot off the gas. How hard is it in those moments to stay with your foot on the gas and go full bore against a team that you are kind of controlling at times?
That comes from the sideline. The man,
and he's sitting right over here, so it better come from that side.
He's here right there, so you hear him. There's a couple of key guys. You hear him shout a name, especially me, and then Kimani, yourself, and then Grant, Taki. Some of the other guys. Once you start hearing our name from the side a little bit more than usual, so you understand that we have to raise the intensity and and keep doing our thing.
North Georgia United next week in the Georgia Premier Division final. Best of luck in that one, Tony. Thank you for the time.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll be back on ASMG TV here in just a bit. Stay with us. Welcome back to Shiloh High School. Another old friend, Karim Tmimi, here with us in the post-game show on ASMG TV. A goal, 2 assists tonight. Feel like you're getting back up to full speed here after the Atlanta United 2 seasons. Tell me about how this match felt for you.
We had instruction to really kill the hope on the opponent, to press them high, to score early. That's what we did. Unfortunately, we conceded 2 goals. But, there's some games. More you win, more the team's going to be waiting for you. They're going to be ultra motivating, and that's what happened. We have to fix those things because conceding 2 goals on set pieces, that happens. But we know what we have to do now for the next game. And that's it. We got 5 goals. There is also the younger guys that step up at the end and show that they also can hold the responsibility to help sometimes when we have a bad day. And that's why we're good, because we have 15, 16 to 20 players that they're all involved and they come and help, and that's good.
2 assists on the night and a goal for you. Able to connect a lot with Anthony Sumo on that right side. What is that connection like?
So as you can see, we're really free on those 3 or 4 spots, and offensively we're really trying to rotate and being predictable. Sometimes I like to come as a 9 to drop. Kalan as well, we're rotating. Sometimes Sumo come inside. Wilfred Kandem as well. We're really trying to rotate, and that's what happened. I dropped between the lines. I know that if I give a good ball to Anthony, with his physical and technical abilities, is 4 times out of 10 going to make the difference, and he finished. And that's what we have to do. Sometimes, we're going to struggle in the game, but if you have a good pass, a good run, and a good finish, that's a goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
I feel like we've talked about this a lot over these past couple of years with you with Atlanta United too, and you don't like to be stuck in a fixed position. And this team feels perfectly set up for you, because I think your heat map in the attacking half is pretty much the whole half. You're out wide on the left, you're out wide on the right, you're dropping back, but then delivering those passes. You've played with Sumo, with Camden, with a variety of central midfielders a lot. How much does it help you being so fluid, having that understanding of the guys around you?
Of course, more you play with the guys, the more you have chemistry. Sometimes you know that things gonna happen in 1-2 seconds before you even get the ball. You have to know what you're gonna do, and you have to play with the strength of your teammates. I know that those guys are really fast, really good on 1v1, so I try to drop like this. I can drag my defender and leave them more on 1v1 and get the second run. We've been doing this since the beginning of the season. We've been working good, but we know that team's going to come and trying to counter and defend on us better, so just have to play the way we do, with a lot of feelings. They're all creative players here, so sometimes when you have creativity, you don't really need too much tactics.
Know that you're also a coach for Kalonji. How has coaching for this club helped you become a better player on the field?
So, we're really trying to inculcate from the younger to the adult the same way of playing, possessing, controlling the game, having the ball a lot, and attacking quick and being like a killers front of the box. So, I trying to give it to my kids, and I trying to show it the way I play as well. But, that's how KSA plays, been playing and will play, and we're just trying to keep doing the same thing,
We'll let you go get in front of a heater here in just a second, but I'll ask you this as you go into the final against North Georgia United, a team that has won a couple of games here at home. If there's one aspect of your team's game that you want to see take a step forward in that final, what is it?
So to be honest, we not really focus on the opponent. We really focus on ourselves. Like I said before, we are our own enemies. We showed it sometimes. We give them hope because we kind of drop the level a little bit. And yeah, we focus on ourselves. We're really confident about our strength, and we just have to make sure we focus before the game and do what we need to do, because we have all the elements, we have all the tools, I think. And I think if North Georgia came to the final, they're a good team as well. But like I said, we're the one who people are waiting on, and we just have to show why it's the case.
North Georgia Kalonji Pro-Profile next Sunday in the UPSL Georgia Premier Division Championship match. Also part of the UPSL National Round of 32. Karim, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, guys.
Much appreciated, as always.
Yes, thank you.
Madison and I will be back to wrap everything up on ASMG TV right after this. Welcome back to Snellville Shiloh High School, the site of tonight's semifinal Kalonji Pro-Profile with a big 5-2 win over FC Birmingham. I'm Jason Longshore, joined by Madison Cruz. And, 5-2, it feels like maybe that was a dominant performance. I also think we expect a lot out of this KSA side because we've seen how they've played. This game felt closer than the score line was.
I mean, heading into this game, they had 32 goals scored after that last loss against Georgia Revolution, their only loss in the regular season. They've just been dominant ever since that loss. It's almost put them into a second gear of hey, we got to get things going now. And that's exactly what we've seen from this side. They've been able just to keep putting goals up and keep it going. But FC Birmingham was able to come in and make them sweat a little bit. They were able to bring it to 3-2. It stayed 3-2 for a long time. You got some of those younger players who came in and were able to make a difference, were able to seal it away for KSA.
Yeah, that's an element of this Kalonji Pro-Profile team that maybe we haven't talked about a lot, and Bruno told you about that. When you have these MLS Next young players that are now back in the group after their season has concluded, and you're able to start the game with experience and veterans and then finish the game with youth and speed and intensity, that's a really difficult cocktail for any team to deal with.
Especially you have so many veteran players who have joined the squad late, who have just come into their own a little bit too. Toni Tiente is a leader on and off the field, as we've seen him be the head coach at times for Kalonji. We also seen Karim Tmimi, who is a coach for some of the younger players here, trying to instill that level of playing style that we've seen from KSA from the ground up as it continues to go. You have those leaders on the pitch, and then that also helps when you bring in those young players because they've been able to learn from them, and they're able to gain that experience that normally you wouldn't get.
So let's take a look at the goals from tonight's match. Karim Tmimi with 2 assists, but he started things off with this first goal. It just comes back to him, and look at the quality of Tmimi to catch that off the hop.
We've seen him do it so many times with Atlanta United too, just how quick he is and just how impactful he can be on the finish. We got Sumo able to slide it in. Another great assist from Karim Tmimi to connect to Sumo, just how dynamic that duo has been. And then you see FC Birmingham coming in and able to make it 2-1 here early as we get in closer to the end of the first half. I mean, just able to capitalize on a loose ball. No one really at KSA defense knew where that ball was going to go.
Yeah, the volley from Harris deflected off of Damfa. Logan Sawyer put it home for Birmingham. That made it 2-1, but it was only about 5 minutes later that Tmimi and Sumo reconnected again, and Anthony Sumo with his second of the night. I feel like he has scored that goal many, many times. So 3-1, Birmingham had the better of the play maybe early in the second half. They got the reward for that quality of play. Off of this, the deflection by McFarland off of the header from Sawyer, that made it 3-2. And as you said, Maddie, that stayed 3-2 for a long time. 85th minute is where it turned back KSA's way.
It's just a dominating performance from KSA. A great ball, Lynn, just able to capitalize on just a wide open net as Nunez was trying to come forward and clear it. And then back again as well, coming in, driving in, tries the cross, and then Nunez gets a hand on it, but then it just floats and able just to get another chip into it is KSA.
Medard with goal number 4, Demise with goal number 5, and that put the game completely out of reach. But again, I think it's easy to see the scoreline and say, okay, that's what you expect from KSA. But there were things about this performance that we didn't necessarily expect. And I think Tmimi and Tiente both kind of touched on that, as did Bruno. the intensity has to be consistent against any team in this league. North Georgia comes in, they're going to be the underdog. They were the number 4 seed. They lost to KSA during the regular season. But if they come in and do some of the things that Birmingham did, build some momentum, and also maybe take advantage of those lulls in the match that KSA, like any team, has, maybe that final could get really interesting. On paper, KSA is the favorite by a pretty wide margin. But as we saw tonight, these games aren't played on paper.
No, they're absolutely not. I mean, you coming into this match, you get the number 1 seed versus the 7 seed. You automatically think, oh, it's going to be a landslide. It's going to be number 1 seed coming into this one and taking it home very quickly. FC Birmingham made it a challenge. They came in and they were relentless. They just kept going at it because you get to a point, too, where, you know, hey, it's win or go home. And that's exactly what FC Birmingham did. They challenged, they pushed, they pressed, and they kept going until they were able to find something. KSA was able to come out and were able to capitalize on more of those chances than FC Birmingham. But it's going to be an interesting matchup as we get in North Georgia United because FC Birmingham's kind of laid the blueprint as to how you can come in and capitalize against a team like KSA. But KSA now has to go in, and they got to make sure that they can clean up those mistakes. They need to make sure that they're on it every single opportunity. They can't have a moment where they're lacking concentration. We saw it in that goal that ended up being the one that made it 2-1 for FC Birmingham. It was a loose ball. No one there was trying to clear it. No one knew where it was. You have to have that concentration when you head into a match like this, especially in a final, when you have a team who is going to be coming in and knowing they're the underdog. They have nothing to lose.
Yeah, North Georgia United, they will be here on Sunday, kickoff time to come. Make sure you are subscribed to the ASMG TV YouTube channel. You will get the notification on when we are live next Sunday from here in Snellville for that championship match. A great year for FC Birmingham, especially the second half of it. Once Josh Martinez took over, be really interested to see how FC Birmingham builds for the spring season. But there's still one more game here in the Premier Division in Georgia before we get to talking about that. It's Kalonji Pro-Profile hosting North Georgia United next Sunday, the round of 32 national game and the championship match of the UPSL Georgia Premier Division. We'll be back here in Snellville for that. Make sure you're following ASMG TV on all your social media platforms for the announcement of that kickoff time. For Madison, I'm Jason. We'll see you next week for the final. KSA 5-2 winners tonight over FC Birmingham.